Back in 1994, there was a contest to pick a name for a Goosebumps book. The official winner was Slime Doesn't Pay, which would have been a cool entry in the Monster Blood series. R L Stine finally wrote Slime Doesn't Pay in 2023, almost 30 years after the contest ended. Better late than never! Arglefump Book Review, Arglefump Book Review. Our narrator, Amy, is having a sleepover when she's attacked by a strange porcupine monster. She fights it off and it escapes into the house. Sadly, no one believes her, not even when they find quills by the pizza. Amy has an obnoxious little brother named Arnie. He pretends to see the creature as a joke, and he throws a slice of pizza at Amy's face. That is both mean and delicious. The kids talk about the upcoming school picture day and watch a slime video on YouTube. They didn't watch an Arglefump video? Rude. A burglar in a ski mask breaks in through Amy's window. The girls are terrified, and it's a fake-out scare prank. Arnie asked Cousin Max to pretend to be a burglar. I kept expecting Cousin Max to return at one point, but he never reappears. He was just there for the fake-out scare. Arnie cuts off a girl's ponytail in school, and he purposely ruins Amy's theater script. He destroys her poncho, too. The family has a meeting about Arnie's misbehavior. He makes a big show out of not paying attention. At the start of Chapter 11, Amy interrupts the story to say, "You have a good idea of how bad Arnie is. But things will get worse. Much worse. We have another 70 pages to get through before Amy finally does something about Arnie." Amy goes for a walk with a friend when she sees a monster. In the scariest scene of the book, the creepy creature licks a squirrel as it screams in terror. Again, nobody else sees the monster. People think Amy made it up. Like she's the girl who cried monster. Amy is forced to take Arnie to the mall. Arnie walks through the fountain, and he tries to steal a video game by hiding it in Amy's bag. She's almost arrested for shoplifting. Arnie behaves like a good person after having an orange smoothie. Nice Arnie doesn't last long. A few hours later, he purposely drops bugs all over Amy's food. The last straw is when Arnie writes a bad word on Amy's face. It takes days for it to wash off, which forces her to miss school picture day. Amy decides she has to get revenge on Arnie. She and a friend dump blue slime on Arnie during his birthday party. The slime turns Arnie into an animal monster. It attacks Amy, trying to bite her before knocking her unconscious. Amy wakes up 20 minutes later. Mom and Dad have locked Arnie in the garage. I'd really like to know how they managed to subdue the monster and drive it home peacefully. Arnie escapes from the garage and goes on a rampage throughout the neighborhood, destroying cars and almost killing one of his friends. Amy tries to stop Arnie with more blue slime, but it doesn't work. She tries stopping him with an orange smoothie, which does work. Arnie calms down and behaves. I guess the family will have to give him an orange smoothie every few hours for the rest of his life now. That sounds expensive. Mom and Dad confess that Arnie is adopted. He was born as a monster, and he occasionally turns back into a monster. That explains the two weird creatures Amy saw earlier. Mom and Dad figured he was okay to keep his monster morphing a secret, since it doesn't happen very often. No, Mom and Dad, that's not an okay secret to keep. It looks like Arnie is now stuck in monster form thanks to the blue slime. The good news is that Dad has a friend who makes monster movies. He decides to make a movie starring Arnie. The end. Post-book follow-up. I'm not sure why this was released as a standalone book when it feels so much like a normal Goosebumps book. There are plenty of Goosebumps books with a sibling prank war or parents who don't believe there's a monster around. The summary on the back cover gives away too much of the book's story. It says Arnie turns into a monster after being slimed. That scene happens 80% of the way through the book. Before that point, not much happens besides 2 monster sightings and endless scenes of Arnie being a huge pain in his sister's life. I understand wanting to save the monster stuff for the finale, but dang it, the word slime is in the book's title. I think slime should have come into play much sooner. A slime subplot could have helped. The book is 240 pages long with many illustrations. I really like the illustrations. Overall, it's standard Goosebumps fare. People seem to enjoy it, whereas I thought it had way too much padding. Part 1 could easily have been half as long, and that would have been an improvement, because it was mostly Arnie being an out-of-control jerk instead of scary material. Even then, Arnie's not too much of a jerk. His most violent moments, where he physically harms other people, all happen off screen. I give Slime Doesn't Pay 4 slimes out of 10.